Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely massive in both scale and ambition. We are exploring the Porcomplex initiative, a pioneering project that's poised to fundamentally rewrite the future of transgenic biomedical research. I know, it sounds a lot like pure science fiction, but the groundwork for this is literally being laid in the real world right now.
Okay, let's dive right into this. How can humanity extend healthy lifespan? It's like a giant puzzle we've been trying to solve forever, and it's the exact driving question behind Porcomplex. We're constantly hitting a wall with our own biological limits, dealing with aging, disease, and tissue degradation. Well, this entire initiative is structured around exploring genetically modified biological resources to completely push past those boundaries.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to hit the organ shortage solution, peek inside the Porcomplex initiative, check out their broadening medical applications, head over to the Comoros Island project, talk about funding this biotech future, and finally, do a quick ethics and reality check. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The organ shortage solution, and a very real global need.
So to really grasp what we're looking at, we have to acknowledge the massive, urgent shortage of transplant organs worldwide. Millions of people are literally waiting for a second chance at life, and traditional human donation just isn't keeping up. The proposed scientific fix? Xenotransplantation. It's a big word, but it simply means transplanting living cells, tissues, or organs from one species to another. Porcomplex is building innovative research platforms entirely dedicated to making this species hopping a reality, aiming to create organ replacement technologies that could wipe out waiting lists for good.
Moving on to Section 2, inside the Porcomplex initiative and their biomedical program.
Coordinated by Massourcing Corporation, this brilliant setup draws a really sharp line in the sand. On one side, you've got conventional livestock, animals intended entirely for food production. But on the other hand, you have Porcomplex animals. And let me be super clear, these are not farm animals in any traditional sense. They are highly regulated, strictly clinical, genetic, and veterinary resources bred specifically to support regenerative medicine. It is a complete paradigm shift in how we view biological resources.
And because of that crucial distinction, every single animal falls under a hardcore clinical certification program. We're talking round-the-clock veterinary supervision and continuous genetic monitoring. They operate under intense biosecurity protocols with full clinical traceability. Add in strict research compliance standards and heavy ethical oversight, and you can easily see why this is treated as a highly controlled, top-tier clinical endeavor.
Which brings us to Section 3, broadening medical applications and the breakthroughs they are chasing.
Now, this vision goes way, way beyond just swapping out a heart or a kidney. This is a truly dual-purpose platform. For human healthcare, sure, you've got the major organ transplant research, skin grafts, and materials for bone regeneration. But look at the veterinary side. They are using this exact same tech for animal transplants, veterinary tissue replacement, and advanced surgeries for the animals themselves. It's a total win-win for both human and animal medicine.
And honestly, the sheer scope of the biomaterials is staggering. They're looking into genetically modified porcine compounds to treat osteoarthritis. They're testing collagen for regenerative skin care and wound healing. They're even pushing into experimental nutritional tech using derived enzymes, biological approaches for sleep quality and stress management, and next-gen biomaterials for dental solutions. It is a massive ecosystem of healthcare.
But wait, it gets even more sci-fi. They aren't stopping at biology. They are actively exploring how to integrate artificial intelligence and medical robotics to nail the extreme precision needed for these future healthcare environments. They even have research programs targeting humanoid robotic systems that actually integrate these biological and hybrid technologies together. It's literally the ultimate merging of advanced biology with cutting-edge machine precision.
Let's pivot to Section 4, the Comoros Island project, where they're building a laboratory farm.
So where is all this actually happening? Well, it's one thing to have this on paper, but Porcomplex is actually developing the world's first transgenic pig laboratory farm in the Comoros Islands. It's a highly secure 5-step build-out. Step 1 is establishing those secure breeding facilities. Step 2 brings in state-of-the-art vet labs. Step 3 rolls out the genetic monitoring systems. Step 4 scales it all up into full R&D centers, culminating in Step 5, which turns the entire island facility into a global hub for international scientific partnerships.
All right, Section 5, funding the biotech future and a look at the investment tiers.
As you can imagine, building a futuristic island laboratory isn't exactly cheap. So Massourcing Corporation structured a tiered funding system to back this up.
It starts right here at $500. That's the baseline entry point for public pre-orders. Basically, individuals can buy in and secure consumer credit for eligible products and services that'll eventually be available in their public catalog.
But then, boom, we take a massive leap up to $50 million. This is the institutional pre-order tier. It's built specifically for major medical institutions, giving them institutional credit for professional products like those biological scaffolds and regenerative materials we talked about, all subject to strict regulatory compliance, of course.
And then we hit the top tier, $100 million for strategic investors. This staggering number really puts into perspective the sheer financial weight required to participate in building out actual clinical infrastructure and biotechnology platforms of this magnitude. It is an incredible capital undertaking.
Finally, Section 6, Ethics and a Reality Check regarding regulatory compliance.
So, we've talked about humanoid robots, extending lifespans, and $100 million investments, but we absolutely need to ground this moonshot vision in our present-day reality. The source material is very explicit, stating, Porcomplex is a research and biotechnology concept. Any clinical use must comply with all applicable national and international laws, ethical standards, regulatory approvals. It's absolutely crucial to remember that while the research is happening, the actual clinical application of these products faces immense, rigorous ethical and regulatory hurdles before it can become everyday medicine.
Which brings us to this final, really profound thought. As science blurs the line between human, animal, and machine, how are we going to navigate the ethical frontier of extending life? Porcomplex presents an awe-inspiring solution to the very real problem of organ shortages, but it's forcing us to completely rethink our relationship with biology and technology. It's a deeply fascinating frontier. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, guys. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.